Namaskaram. Learn Malayalam with Elikuttiyilekku Swagatham. I'm Eliza and I'm here to help you with your Malayalam learning journey. If you're looking for a place to learn basic Malayalam, you've come to the right channel. This is our third video in a series on beginner Malayalam. If you've missed the first two, please check out the playlist and catch up to speed until you're ready to join us on this video. Otherwise, let's continue where we left off. Today, we're going to continue looking at the verb aanú, increasing our knowledge of subject pronouns, and talk about nationalities, how to talk about where we're from. And then we'll also focus on some pronunciation with the differences between a and ah. It does make a difference. So, as always, let's try to review what we know already. Again, if you haven't seen the first two lessons, go back and check it for your notes. Otherwise, let's get going on this. You have the English dialogue here, and in the word box, we have some Manglish. I'd like you to go through the word box and arrange this conversation in order and fill in the blanks to make it true for you. Give yourself some time, pause this video, and when you're ready, we'll get started. All right, let's get started. Here's my response. Namaskaram. Perendarne. Njan Eliza. Evide nindarne. Njan Amerikayil nindarne. Nee Englandil nindarno. Alla. Njan Indiayil nindarne. Okay, remember, il nindarne is saying where something is from. Amerikayil nindarne. Englandil nindarne. And if we're making it a question, Englandil nindarno. Are you from England? Remember these differentiations. So now we're going to introduce some more ideas. I have two pictures of my friends, and let's read the dialogue. Ming everyday nindarne. Ming Vietnamil nindarne. Oh, Ming Vietnam karanano. Ade. Arane. Aval. Anh arne. Anh Vietnamil nindarne. Oh, anh Vietnam kariano. Ade. Random Vietnam kar arne. All right, so remember last time we were talking about he and she, and we were talking about where people are from, but now we have some new vocabulary. Notice the bold. Karen, kari, kar. Think about the meaning. We'll talk about it more in a bit. Next example. Aval Vietnamil nindarno. Alla. Christine Amerikayil nindarne. Oh, America kariarne. Marco America karanano. Alla. Marco Serbiyayil nindarne. Oh, Serbia karanarne. So notice, when you're saying you're from a place, you'll say il nindarne. Serbiyayil nindarne. Indiayil nindarne. Kolkatayil nindarne. Chennayil nindarne. But if you want to say your nationality or your place name, you would take that and add Karen if you're a man, Kari if you're a woman, or Kar for plural people. As of right now, I don't know any gender-neutral words in Malayalam, so if you know it, comment it. Otherwise, just go with whatever you feel more comfortable with. So, Njan Amerikayil nindarne. So I'm America kariarne. Njan America kari. America kari. Don't say American kari. This is not correct. Germany karen. You can also use it for the city that you're from. For example, if you're from Kochi, you could be a Kochikari or a Kochikaren. Or if you're from Delhi, you could be a Delikari or a Delikaren. Or you and your friends are Delikar. There's different ways to do this. Now, before we talked about you and me, and then last lesson we talked about he and she, today we're going to expand and talk about we and they. Now, if you don't speak a language with inclusive and exclusive we, this is a new concept. For English speakers, having two different ways to say we is a little bit confusing, but don't worry, we'll talk about it. So the first way that is we is namar. Namar. And we use this when we're talking about everyone. So if we're talking about studying Malayalam, we'd say, Nammal Malayalam padikkam. We will study Malayalam together, you and me. But if I was talking to you about my husband and I, we would say, Nyangal Hanoiil tamassikkunnu. We live in Hanoi. You don't live in Hanoi, but we do. So number is when you include the person you're talking to, inclusively. And nyangal is exclusive. It doesn't include the person I'm talking to. We'll do some more examples in a bit. For they, we have abar. Abar. Straightforward. Now, here again, here is the example. Nyangal Amerikayil ninnarne. So we are from America, but they're not including the person they're speaking to. Now, in the second picture, we have a group of people. Namar Amerikayil ninnarne. We, all of us together, are from America. So just to be sure you understand the concept, I have 4 scenarios here. And I want you to think, in this case, would I use namar or would I use nyangal? Look at here. Number 1, you're talking to your friend about a trip you all went on together. Number 2, you're telling your mom about your friend's trip that you took. Number 3, you're telling your teacher about the test that you and your batchmates took. And number 4, you're asking your batchmates if you all have tutorials together. So look at here and choose, is it namar or is it nyangal? You can pause to think about it, and when you're ready, let's go over the answers. So our first scenario, you're talking to your friend about a trip you all went on. This is namar. You all went on it together. It's including this person. In the second scenario, you're telling your mom about the trip. Your mom didn't go with you and your friends. You went just with them. So this is excluding. This is nyangal. Now, when you're telling your teacher about an exam your class took, you would use nyangal. Your teacher didn't take the test. You and your classmates did. And then in the last one, you're asking your batchmates if all of you have to study tuitions. Namar. We're asking, we are going to study together. Namar. So, if you're still a little fuzzy, it's okay. With more practice, it'll become more understandable. If you speak another Indian language or some other languages that have inclusive, exclusively, you've probably got it down right. Just to review, we have the verb aanú. Okay, let's look at the examples here. Namar Cheenakkaranu. Aval Italikkariyalla. Ningal Indiakkarano. Ade, nyangal Indiakkaranu. So remember, aanú doesn't change whether it's single, plural, you, me, he, she, they, we, doesn't matter. Stays the same. And you can see the differences. Remember, the positive statement is aanú, the negative statement is alla, and the question form, aanú. And remember, you should be using the retroflex na, aanú. Do not say aanú, aanú. This is not correct. Aanú. Aanú. If you need to practice that N sound, I have a video here that will help you with that pronunciation. Retroflex. Aanú, 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 aanú. All right, so let's practice. I have a slide here in English, conversation. I'd like you to go back, review your notes, review the slides, and translate this the best you can into Malayalam. If you're not sure, you can skip some words, that's fine, but try your best to translate this into Malayalam. There might be more than one way to do it, so no stress. Pause the video, review your notes, and when you're ready, we'll go over the answers together. So here is the answer that I've made. Namaskaram, Nyan Eliza, Aval, Aing Arne. Namaskaram, Ningal Amerikakkarano. Nyan Amerikakari, Aing Vietnamkari Arne. Sorry. Nyan Harish, Avan Arun. Nyangal Indiayil ninnarne. Kandattu Sandolsha. Great. So I'm American and Aing is Vietnamese. And remember, we have to put the gender word, kari or karin. Now, take these sentences here and change them from positive into negative, then change them into questions. Remember, we're working with the verb aanú. Aanú. So how do we make that into a question? And how do we make that into a negative? Again, pause your video, take your notes, and when you're ready, let's go together to the answers. All right, so for the negative statements, number Singapore kar alla, Arjun കന്നഡക്കാരൻ അല്ല. ക്രിസ്റ്റീൻ കൊറിയക്കാരി അല്ല. ഞങ്ങൾ മെക്സിക്കോക്കാരല്ല. Okay, good. Now to make them into questions. നമ്മൾ സിംഗപ്പൂർക്കാരാണോ? അർജുൻ കന്നഡക്കാരനാണോ? ക്രിസ്റ്റീൻ കൊറിയക്കാരിയാണോ? ഞങ്ങൾ മെക്സിക്കോക്കാരാണോ? How did you do? Again, remember the structure is the same whether it's positive, negative, or a question. That part is a little bit easier than in English. So now, before we wrap up, let's do our pronunciation exercise for today. We need to look at the difference between a and ah. Okay? A is a short sound and it's the default vowel. Anytime you see a letter by itself, an aksharam just hanging out, it automatically has the a attached to it. It's just invisible. And when you see it inside words, you don't. You only see the a at the beginning of the word. And then once it's within the word attached to a syllable or a consonant, you don't see it. Next, we have ah. It's the long sound. And it has a different shape, kind of like an ear next to the letter. And it does show up when it's attached to consonants. Let me show you some examples. So here, when you see these letters on the left in white, you'll see that there's nothing else attached to them. But it's understood that there is a short a next to them. And then in yellow, you'll see where the a is attached. Notice the difference in pronunciation. Ka, ka, na, na, va, va. This is very important to make sure that you have the length correct. Firstly, when we have the short a, we need to keep it short. It's a very short sound. Ka, ka, na, na, va, va. When we're learning letters, we tend to exaggerate, but when spoken, namaskaram, namaskaram. There's one long sound and the rest are short. Namaskaram, namaskaram. Okay, so the timing is really important for this. So let's look and practice. I want you to listen. Again, I have pairs of words, and I'm going to say one word for each pair, and you need to choose which word did I say. Listen carefully. Number 1. Karen, Karen. Number 2. Povan, Povan. Number 3. Kari, Kari. Number 4. Ana, Ana. And number 5. Amma, Amma. If you need to listen again, go ahead and go back. Otherwise, let's check our answers. How did you do? I'm going to read both words to you now so you can hear the difference in the pronunciation. Right? Number 1. Karen, 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 Karen. Number 2. Povan, 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 Povan. Number 3. Kari, 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 Kari. Number 4. Ana, 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 Ana. And number 5. Amma, Ama, Amma, Ama. Did you hear the difference? It's all right. If you need a little more time, you can always go back and revise and listen again. But that is wrapping up our video for today. I'm going to put some more links in the description for smaller lessons to help you with your pronouns, focusing on aanú, saying we, to, and from. And as always, I have my free live lessons on Mondays, 7 p.m. IST on Discord, so do join the Discord. Over 1,000 learners and helpers hanging out there ready to join you on your Malayalam journey. Again, if you have enjoyed what you watched, do subscribe, click the bell, keep up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Appo ellam paranathu pole.